Howdy, and welcome back to the Dice Cast. I've got a brand new army that I've been painting up, getting ready for this moment, and I'm super excited to bring it in to Justin and watch him absolutely annihilate me.
And, well, I don't know if that will be the case. As I spoke about in the podcast, I'm getting into Idoneth. I'm going to start playing it as much as possible. Mm-hmm. And this will be my second run around with the army. Hopefully it'll go a little bit better than it did playing you with Nighthaunt.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah. I'm running a Skaven list tonight, and it's the two sub-factions that I haven't really explored in Skaven. It's got a lot of Pestilens, a lot of Eshin. I'm excited to try these things out. Different pieces.
It seems really good and pretty interesting, too.
Sure. I know it's interesting. We'll see about the other part.
And the fish, I'm going to be shooting a lot with them today. So
sure.
I'm excited to try that angle out. So why don't you tell us about your list?
Let's get into it. Generally, I play very low model count armies, and so this army, I believe, is the highest model count I've ever played, which is fitting for Skaven. I've got, like I said, a mix of Pestilence and Eshin. I think the Eshin are going to be some forward screens to let my plague blocks move into place. So tonight I've got Warpgnaw Verminlord as my general. He's got Devious Adversary, Flaming Weapon, and he's also got Skaven Brew as a buff piece that he can use. I've got a Plague Furnace Plague Priest, so he knows Curse and has the Arcane Tomes. We've got a spell as well, and he's joined by two other Plague Priests, so they're going to give each other bonuses and hopefully get some of those great plagues going off. And then I've got Slink Skittershank and his Claw Pack as my final hero, and this is really, in my opinion, the best Underworlds warband that there is in Age of Sigmar. And I'm excited to see what they can do on the table. This is my first time playing them. They've got some really cool tricks, so we'll see how that plays out. For my units, I've got 40 Clan Rats. They're going to get the immune to battle shock aura from the Plague Furnace. I've got 20 Plague Monks, 2 units of 5 Censer Bearers, 2 units of 5 Gutter Runners, and 10 Storm Vermin that can bodyguard those important heroes for me. And then, of course, the Claw Pack. And I also have Laoshan the Soul Seeker here to scoop my Verminlord up the table so that he can get into some juicy combats with the 5 damage spear that he carries.
So I am bringing Naudalar, Idoneth Deepkin. My general will be an Achillean King. He's got the full loadout. His artifact is going to be an Arcane Tome with Flaming Weapon. He's going to have Void Chill Darkness, which is the -1 to hit for units that are within 3 of him. And then he is going to have Unstoppable Fury, which is a buff when he charges. Then we have Lotan. He's coming for his +1 to wound buff. And then we're going to have 2 units of 3 Morslar Guard. They're kind of my reach out and touch someone. And then I have 30 Reavers. I just think Reavers are kind of the best thing to be doing in the book right now. So I'm kind of excited to see how they play. And then I have a Leviathan who's got Reverberating Carapace. That will extend his bubble from 12 to 15 for the Void Drum. And then last but not least, I have 2 units of 5 Tree Revs. I just kind of think Tree Revs might be the best unit in the game right now. I think they might be a little bit better if you put them in Veteran Conquerors, but I'm not going to do that in this list because I want to be 1 drop. I feel like right now drops are so important. And I'm really excited to get playing. I've been playing like a lot of beefy, a lot of armies that stay on the table for a long time. This is more of a glass cannon, so we'll see how I run it. Nick, are you ready?
Let's do it.
All right, let's have some fun. Thanks, guys. Won't Back Down is what we're playing today. It's you play on the short sides of the table, so there's a lot more territory than usual. Territory runs right down the middle, and then you will deploy 9 inches back, so there's an 18-inch dead zone. The cool thing about this is your units rally back if they're contesting an objective on 5-up, except if you're Galatian veterans, then you can get back on a 4-up. Other than that, it's pretty typical. Control 1 objective for a point, control 2 or more for a point, control more objectives for a point, battle tactics for 2. Grand strategy, obviously, at the end is 3. So best of luck, Nick.
Good luck, Justin.
Alright, so I deployed in a castle on my back right objective. I want to stay in a pretty tight cluster just to... Nick's got some sneaky shooting with the gutter runners and slink. So I want to make sure he's not shooting at my valuable things. So that's why my tree revs are up front. IDK is a nice army as far as they have a lot of movement. So even if I'm packed back in the corner, I can unpack fairly quickly, especially with run and charge and run and shoot in turn 2.
I set up my gnaw holes to really be annoying in Justin's backfield, knowing that he doesn't have a tremendous number of units, so defending them is really going to be something that he doesn't want to spend a lot of time on. And then I built up one big castle around my gnaw holes, so I'm going to get my bonuses to pray and bonuses to cast there. And then I've got another, on the other flank, I've got a unit of my plague stuff that can potentially hold on and do some fighting over there if Justin does decide to come in turn 1, or can just provide some pressure if he opts to give me the first turn here. So since I've got Eshin units here, I do get to pick one of Justin's heroes, and I'll get +1 to hit and +1 to wound against that hero. I will pick his king, so my Eshin units will get +1 to hit, +1 to wound in both melee and shooting against the king.
As surprising as it seems, I'm going to pick Ritual of Surging. I'm going to add 1 to run and charge rolls for my Deepkin units during Flood Tide.
Sure, during turn 2.
Yep.
All right.
Good luck. I'm going to give you first turn.
Makes sense. Kind of what I expected here, especially with you castling up so hard. So we'll get into it. Skaven, turn 1. For my battle tactic here, I'm going to take Desecrate, and I'm going to take this portal right here as my piece of terrain that I'm going to take. And then for my heroic action, I'm going to try to get an extra command point on my general, and I fail it with a 1.
My king is going to try for a command point, and he's going to get down.
You got it, right on. Going to start off with prayers here. I'm going to use this Plague Priest here. He knows Filth, so I'll try to get that. And he's currently a +3, and I rolled a 6, so that's actually a 9. That is going to unleash a Great Plague in addition to getting Filth. So first off, Filth is going to go on this unit of Censer Bearers here, and they are going to get +1 to wound. And then for the Great Plague that goes off, I'm going to select the Never Plague, which is going to give me reroll chanting rolls for my priest for the rest of the battle. My Furnace Priest is going to attempt to chant Bless. He's at +3 and rerolling, so with that 3, he will get Bless, and that's going to go on that unit of Clan Rats. That's going to give them a 6-up ward. And then my other Plague Priest there in the middle, also at +3 rerolling, is going to try Rabid, and gets that on a 7. That's going to go on this unit of Censer Bearers as well, so they're +1 attacks and +1 to wound. For my spellcasting, my Warpgnaw Vermin Lord is going to attempt to cast Flaming Weapon. And with the +1 from the Gnaw Hole, going to get that on a 5. So he will have Flaming Weapon on his spear. He's then going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. Hits that on an 11, so he will have Mystic Shield up. And then the Priest on the Plague Furnace is going to attempt to cast Lao Shan at +1 here. And going to get that on an 8, so Lao Shan will be stunned. End of the hero phase then, Lao Shan is going to move, and it's going to bring the Warp Gnaw with it. And then the Warp Gnaw is going to take a mortal wound from that. He's got a 5-up ward. He will take that mortal wound. And then we'll get into movement. Then at the end of the movement phase, I'm going to drop in my Deep Strike units. It's going to be 2 units of Gutter Runners, and then Slink and his Claw Pack. Definitely a little bit terrifying going into a castle like Justin has built with that 30 blocker Reavers. They're going to be able to bring so much carnage, but I think at some point I need to push into them with the things I can get into them, because if I let them get a couple of turns of shooting into me, they're going to start taking off more than I can really handle. So I am going to try to be clever with my Deep Strike, with my charges here, and hopefully mitigate some of what that unit wants to be doing. But in the shooting phase, I'm not going to be able to go after what I really want to go after because of Idoneth's abilities. So into shooting, going to first shoot with this unit of Gutter Runners here. They have a total of 15 attacks, and I don't have any choice about where I put these attacks. These are all going to go into that unit of Tree Revs. They're going to be on 4s and 4s, but 6s will be a mortal wound.
And this unit of Tree Revs is going to use their free once per battle round all defense.
Sounds good. So 4s and 4s, fishing for 6s. That is going to be 2 mortal wounds. And then 3 saves to make at no end.
These will be 3 4-ups. I made 2, so it'll be 3 total wounds.
3. My next unit of Gutter Runners is going to do exactly the same thing. Throw their shots into that same unit. Same profile here. This time we've got 3 mortal wounds. And a total of 3 saves to make it no end.
3 4-ups. Made 2. Okay.
Total of 4 more. The Claw Pack then is going to shoot, and this is just one profile with the Eshin Sling. 4 attacks at 4s and 4s, but these are going to be D3 mortal wounds on 6s. I'll get into that Tree Rev unit. No 6s, just 1 hit, and no wounds. And then Slink is going to shoot into that unit. Same profile. 4 attacks, 4s and 4s, 6s are D3. That's 2 6s, 2 D3 mortal wounds for a total of 3. Alright, makes things a little bit interesting then. Into the charge phase. Going to attempt first with this unit of Gutter Runners. Going to attempt to charge that unit of Reavers. And they needed something like an 11. They got a 4. That's not going to make it. Going to attempt now with the Claw Pack, Slink's Claw Pack, and failed it with a 3. Going to attempt with Slink himself. And 8, I do not believe will quite make it. And then I will attempt with my Vermin Lord. And he got boxcars. He's going 12 inches pretty much wherever he wants.
So I'm going to unleash Howl with my free command point. So it's going to be 26 total attacks. I'm also going to use my Triumph here for +1 to wound. So it's going to be 26. I get -1 on Unleash Howl, but because it's an enemy within 9, I get +1. And then because of the reverberating drum or void drum, I get another +1 because it's fully within 15. So it's going to be 26 attacks, hitting on 2s, wounding on 2s.
Sounds good.
-19 at -1.
19 at -1. They're going to be canceled out by that Mystic Shield, so these are going to be 4s. And I'll pull the I'll pull the failures here. Good roll, better than average. So we've got a total of 8 getting through, and then he's got a 5-up ward, and he's going to pass 3 of those, so he's going to take a total of 5. He's got 6 taken so far. At the end of the charge phase, I'm going to activate him, and he is going to try to roar at that unit of Reavers. And he does. Sure. And then I'm going to activate him first. He's going to put all of his attacks into the Reavers. Because they haven't fought yet, he's going to have Devious Adversary, so he's going to get an extra 2 attacks on his main profile. This is going to be 6 attacks. I am going to spend for all-out attack here. So these are going to be on 2s and 3s. 1 failed hit, 3s to wound. 1 failed wound. That's going to be a total of 4 at -2.
So I'm +2 because I'm in cover and the void drum. So this will cancel out. So this will be 4 5-ups. I made 1, so I'll take 12 damage.
Total of 15 damage. There are 4 damage, and then he's got Flaming Weapon up.
Okay. 15 damage of 15 5-ups. So this will save 1, 2.
Oh, Jesus.
So that will kill 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Okay.
Any more attacks?
Nope, that's it. Gonna activate the Reavers now?
Yep. It's important for me to stay within 6. These guys don't hit very hard. They're going to have 9 attacks total. My boss isn't in, so this will be 9 attacks, 2s and 3s. They're getting to 2 from the Void Drum effect. So this is going to be a total of 6 at no rend.
Okay, 6 at no rend are going to be 3-ups. And I'm going to fail 3 of those 5-ups. And he's going to take 2 more. And I think that's going to be it on the Battle Shock.
I'm going to spend my point to auto pass.
Okay. So definitely not how I wanted that turn to go. I thought I could have positioned a little bit better in my deep strikes to get some shorter charges after the unit was shot off, but I kind of messed that up a little bit. And then just a boneheaded play, not piling in to shut off the wards, which I think saved something like 7 Reavers, which is going to haunt me here. So definitely would have been an easy pile in to shut that off, and mistake on my part. So that's going to be it for Skaven turn 1. I hold 1, hold 2, hold more, and I got my battle tactic of Desecrate, so total of 5.
I'm going to eye for an eye for this turn. For my heroic action, I'm again going to attempt to get a command point from my general. And I will.
I'll Finest Hour my Vermin Lord.
Sure. I am going to Flaming Weapon with my general. So it's on a 4. I'll get it on a 7.
And I'll attempt to unbind that with my Vermin Lord. And got double ones. Goes off.
Takes D3. And then that, I believe, is all I have to do for my hero phase into movement. I unpacked a little bit. My goal here is to get rid of, hopefully to get rid of the Warp Gnaw, and then worry about Skrink or whatever his name is. I'm hopefully going to pop the Warp Gnaw with my Leviathan, freeing up the Reavers to shoot at what they would actually want to shoot at. So my first shot is going into 8 shots from the Leviathan into the Warp Gnaw. This is going to be, I'm going to spend a command point for all-out attack.
I'm already on Finest Hour and Mystic Shield. No reason to all-out defense here.
And then 3s. So this is going to be a total of 6 at -1.
Okay, I'm looking for 3s here. And going to fail 2 of those.
This is going to be 2 D3 for just 2.
Okay, and they are 5 awarded. Fail both of those, he'll take 2. But he is still alive, importantly.
And then I am going to do my shots from the Reavers into him. This is going to be 44 attacks. This will be 2s and 3s. The first 22, these are 2s. And these are 3s to wound.
Okay, I'll roll these first, and then you got another batch of these coming. So these are going to be 3-ups, and he's going to fail 4 of those. And then 5 awards, and he is just dead. We can skip that second batch of attacks there. But importantly, turned off that Reaver output for 1 turn at least.
I'm then going to go on to charges. First, I'm going to start with my king. I'd like him to get a long charge. 5. It's going to be acceptable, but not ideal. Then my eels are going to charge. 6. I don't think it's going to be good. So I'm going to reroll this one. Get in on a 7. I am going to attempt to charge from the Leviathan. You will not get in. First, on a charge, on a 2-up, the unit will take D3 mortal wounds. Yes. For 2.
Okay. 2 dead monks.
And then he gets +1 to hit because he is the Achillean Paragon. So I will add 1 to hit. So this is going to be 3 attacks.
I'm going to spend here for all-out defense.
This will be 3 attacks, 2s and 2s. There'll be 2 at -2.
Straight through.
Those are going to be 4 damage apiece because of the charge and the fact that I have Flaming Weapon on the Blade of Ball. Then he has a Falchion, which is 3 attacks, 2s and 3s. Nope. And then Fangs and Tails, this will be 3 attacks, 2s and 3s. This will be 3s and 3s because the mounts do not benefit from the ability. That'll be 1 at -1.
That's going to be a 6-up with that all-out defense. Going to fail that.
D3.
One more.
And then the Falchion will, or the Lashing Tails will be 3 attacks, 3s and 3s. There'll be 2 at north.
2 5-ups, and going to make one of those.
It'll be 2 damage.
2 more damage. Okay, it's going to kill 2 more. So 6 of them died within range of the king. Excuse me, 7 of them died within range of the king for the icon of entropy. So I'll try to do some mortal wounds back here. Got 7 dice, looking for 6s, and I'm going to do 2 mortal wounds back to him. My activation then, going to pile in the plague monks. All right, going to pile in fight then with the plague monks.
All defense.
Okay. So I got the plague monks fighting. I've got 4 of them in range. It's going to be a total of 8 attacks with their fetid blades. And you're all out defensing here?
Yep.
All right, so this is going to be 8 3s and 4s. And 6s here will become Rend 2. All into the eels. Missed with 3. 4's to wound. And that is going to be just 1 and no rend.
This is going to be a 3.
You're good?
Yep. The eels will pile. The eels on the charge are going to have 2 attacks each with their Volt Spear. So this is going to be a total of 7 attacks. These are going to hit on 2s and wound on 2s. So it'll be 3 at -2.
Straight through.
That will be 6 damage.
6 damage, that's all but one of them so far. We got some more attacks though.
Yep, and then we'll have 9 attacks. This will be 3s and 2s.
Big +1 from the king, right?
Yeah. No, they don't get the +1 from the king because it's a mount. But they do get the +1 from. So this is going to be 7 at -1.
7 at -1 are going to be 6-ups. And going to make one of those. That's going to kill that last guy. But then I've got 7 dice from the icon of entropy going into that unit of eels. And I'm going to do 2 mortal wounds to him.
So I'm going to control 1, control 2. I did accomplish eye for an eye. So I'm going to get a total of 4 points for this round.
Sounds good.
Overall, the turn could have went a little bit better. I was hoping to maybe hit a long bomb charge. I wanted the Reavers to be freed up to shoot into some of Nick's other units. That did not go according to plan. But it didn't go bad. That was the unit I was probably most worried about was the Warp Maw, and I'm happy to make Nick have to start fighting on. If I lose priority this round, it's not a nightmare per se, so I'm fine with that.
All right, let's have that priority. I got a 3 to your 5. You got the choice.
Yeah, I'm gonna take it.
Sure.
For this round, I am going to pick Desecrate, and I'm going to choose this objective back here. I'm going to try to roll for an extra command point with my king. That's going to be no.
I will roll for the same with my Plague Furnace, and I will get it with a 6.
For my hero phase, I'm again going to attempt to cast Mystic Shield. Or I'm sorry, not Mystic Shield. Flaming Weapon, and it's going to go off on a 9.
I'll attempt to unbind that with my Plague Furnace at +1. Going to block it with a 10.
Then we can go into movement. For this round, I have moved my Tides of Death table into Blood Tide. I can either run and shoot or run and charge in the same turn.
And you get +1 run and +1 charge from your ritual, correct?
Yep. basically, I'm still keeping 1 unit of eels in reserve to block off this gnaw hole. I don't want to be snuck up behind. I'm trying to move into a dominant position on this side of the board. And then I want to try to get Nick's scariest units off the board here. So that will be the goal for my shooting. And then we'll see how charges go. I'm going to put 5 of the shots from the Leviathan into Slink. And then I'm going to put the remaining 3 into the unit, if I'm in range, into the unit of Plague Sensor Bearers on the back.
Okay, I'm going to all-out defense Slink here. You'll be -1 to hit from Lookout, sir.
Sure. I am going to spend a point to all-out attack here.
Okay.
So these 5 are going to be 3s and 3s. That will be 2 at -1.
Okay, 2 4-ups. And failed both of those.
2d3
For 5 damage, he is dead.
And then the other 3 shots that are going into the Sensor Bears, these are going to be 2s and 3s. Just 1 at -1.
Okay. Straight through.
This will be d3 for 3.
Alright, kills 1.
I'm going to take 11 Reavers and put 22 shots into the Plague Sensor Bears.
Okay.
I'm going to put another 10 shots, a total of 5 Reavers, into the unit of 10 Gutter Runners. And then I'll put my final 6 Reavers into the back unit of Gutter Runners.
Okay.
22. These will be 2s and 3s.
Okay, they're dead.
And then the 10 shots into the unit of Gutter Runners. 2s and 3s. Let me make sure that's right. So that will be a total of 6 at -1.
6 at -1 is going to be 6-ups. And going to make one of those, that's going to clean the unit.
And then the final 12 into the other unit of Gutter Runners. This will be 2s and 3s. Only 3 into this one.
Okay. That is going to be 3 6-ups. And I'm going to fail all those, kill 3 of them.
I'm then going to go into charges. I am +1 to charge this round, so I don't think I can fail very many charges, but we're going to first go with the king into the Plague Sensor Bears. He's going to get in on an 11. On a 2-up, he'll do d3. Nope. The eels will go on. They're going to get in on a 10. So I'm going to use their biovoltaic blast at the end of the charge phase. So on the 4+, they'll take 1. On a 6, they'll take d3. But because there are more models in this unit than are in my model or unit, these will be on 3 pluses. So this will be a total of 4.
4 mortal wounds?
Yep.
Okay.
I'm going to charge with my Leviathan. He is going to get in on a 3, I think.
Should.
Alright, after the charge phase, I am going to do his Monstrous Rampage. I'm going to stomp them onto it. We'll take d3 for a total of 3.
Okay. That's going to kill 1 and put a wound on another.
I'm going to attack with my king first. He charged. He is within 10 of low time, and he gives himself +1. So the first is going to be 3 attacks. These are going to be 2s and 2s. Oof.
You're -1 to wound.
2s and 3s. So it's 1 at -3.
Okay, straight through.
It'll be 3 damage. And then his Felshin will do 3 attacks. These will be 2s and 3s.
Still -1.
Yep. This will be 2 at north.
2 6-ups. And gonna fail both of those.
That's just 1 damage each.
Okay.
So you got 1 left.
Yep.
3s and 3s. Nope. And then his last attack is going to be Lashing Tail. These will be 3s and 3s. 1 at north.
6-up.
Oh,
Made it.
that's huge.
He will survive. -1 to wound coming in clutch there. I will then activate with that Sensor Bearer, and he's going to put all of his attacks into the king.
I'm still going to all defense here.
Okay.
And you're going to be -1 hit.
This is going to be 3 attacks, and they are going to be normally 3s, but up to 4s to hit. So 4s and 3s, and I'm going to hit with 2, and I'm just going to wound with 1 at -1.
Because I all defense, this will be a 3-up. He will make it.
Okay.
I'm attacking with the Vidon. I just activated. This is going to be 6 attacks. I'm going to put his 2-inch attacks into the gutter runners and the rest of the attacks into the Slink unit.
Okay.
So the first attack, this is going into Slink's unit. This is going to be 6 attacks, 3s and 3s. This will be 3 at -1.
3 at -1. These are going to be 6-ups. Going to fail all those.
It's just 1 damage each.
Okay.
And then the Crushing Jaws into the same unit. This is going to be 2s and 2s. Just 1 at -2.
Okay, straight through.
3 damage.
Okay, that clears that unit.
And then the massive finned side fins. This is going to be 4 attacks, 2s and 3s. So it's going to be 4 at -1.
Okay, 4 at -1. It's going to be 6-ups. And going to fail all those. That's going to clear that unit.
And then I will attack with my eels. These are going to be...
And I'll just concede that 1 wound. He's dead.
Winning the double here seemed important. It allowed me to stretch out, put Nick kind of back into his castle where he's going to have to kind of work. I feel like I eliminated many of his highest damage units, although he still has some interesting things to do with curse and things of that nature. So I'm going to score 1, score 2. I don't score more, but I will get a total of 4 points.
Okay. And then we'll go into the bottom of 2 here with Skaven. And as Justin said, all of my threatening units have been removed. So there's nothing I can do here, but we'll play through the turn and see what it does. But realistically, I'm not going to remove anything from here until the rest of the game. So we'll get into Skaven top of 2, or bottom of 2 rather. For my battle tactic, I'll take against all odds on the unit of Storm Vermin. For my heroic action here, I'm going to try to get a command point with my furnace, and I will.
I am going to try to heal my king, and I will D3. He'll be to full health.
Okay. First off, going to start with some praying. Going to juice up my plague furnace as much as possible here. So my first priest is going to cast or pray for Rabid Rabid, and going to get that. So +1 attacks on the plague furnace. Next one's going to cast or pray for Filth Filth. I'm going to get that, so that's going to be on the plague furnace as well. +1 to wound. The plague furnace is going to attempt to pray for disease, and going to get that on a 6. And that would unleash a Great Plague, but I am too far away to use any meaningful Great Plagues here. Sorry, I misspoke there. Not disease, but pestilence. So for pestilence, I pick a point within 13. I'll pick a point right here, and each unit within 3 inches there that is not a pestilence unit is on a 4-up. Going to take D3 mortal wounds. Yes, for 3 mortal wounds into the turn. Then 1 spell to cast with the furnace. Going to attempt Flaming Weapon, and going to get that on an 8 currently.
I'm going to try to stop that. I'm not going to stop it on a 7.
Okay, and that's going to go on the Rusty Spikes profile. At the end of the hero phase, I'm going to move Lao Shan, and then we'll get into movement. Movement here, there's not a lot meaningful I can do, but I'm pushing forward toward that turtle. The reality is that this is my last turn for a full round where I won't be dealing with fights first army-wide. So I am trying to push forward and get into things if I'm able, but it's going to be some uphill sledding here. Into shooting, I've got no shooting to do. We can go straight into charges. I'll attempt to charge with the Plague Furnace. And got a 4. I will go ahead and spend a command point to reroll that. And got a 7, that's not going to make it, and so that's going to be my turn. So I hold 1, hold 2 or more, and then get my battle tactic. I don't hold more than Justin, so I'll get a total of 4 points here. And we'll have a priority roll for round 3. And I got a 6 tier 1, so I will take another turn here, and we will go into Skaven top of 3. For my battle tactic here, I'll do barge through enemy lines, very achievable. And then for my heroic action, I'm going to finest hour on my Plague Furnace.
I'm going to try to get another command point from Lotan. And I will.
Okay.
The objective in Nick's right hand corner is going to be Proving Grounds.
Sure, makes sense. And then we'll get into spellcasting and praying. So first up, my Plague Furnace is going to attempt to pray for Curse. Needs a 4, currently on +2. And so roll the 1, gonna re-roll that from the Never Plague in turn 1, so Curse will go off on the turtle. Now I missed the Great Plague there with my other priests, so I'm gonna be out of range for Great Plagues here on the turtle, but I'll roll for regular prayers. And the first one is going to be Rabid Rabid at +3, gets it on a 5. Second one is going to be Filth Filth and gets that on a 5, and those are both going on the Plague Furnace.
Sure.
Going to attempt Mystic Shield here with the Plague Furnace, and going to get that on a 7. Excuse me, a 6.
I'm going to try to stop it from my king. I will not.
Okay. So Mystic Shield will go on the Plague Furnace, and then we'll get into movement.
I'm going to redeploy with Leviathan.
Okay.
He's only going to go 1.
Movement here, again, very simple, just pushing everything toward the Leviathan, getting a bunch of units in position so that they can tag in and do some fighting. With the Curse on it, even the Clan Rats can put out some pretty good damage, and realistically, the Leviathan's going to get to fight first, so I need to absorb some of these hits so that my bigger things can get their swings through. So I don't have any shooting to do, we'll get into charges. I'm going to charge first with the Clan Rats. And they are in on a 6.
I'm going to unleash hell into the Clan Rats.
Sounds good.
This is going to be 8 attacks. But they're only going to hit on 4s. It'll be 4s and 3s.
Okay.
So it's going to be 4 at -1.
Okay. 6 ups. Gonna fail all those.
D3 damage.
4 1s there.
2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Okay. Clean them off the back here. Next charge is going to be with the Plague Furnace. He's in on 10. And then the Storm Vermin are going to charge, and they are in on a 6. Alright, end of the charge phase then. You've got your heroic action to do.
My Monstrous Rampage is going to be to make his fins and jaws -3 rend.
Okay, sounds good. And then, of course, you've got strikes first this whole round.
Yeah, he's just going to put all his attacks into your furnace. I know you have bodyguard here.
I'm going to all-out defense.
Sure.
You'll be -1 to hit here from an allegiance ability, and then -1 to wound here from the war scroll.
So his first attack is going to be 4s and 4s. That will be 1 at -1.
1 at -1. With all the save stacking I've done here, it's just going to cap out at a 3, and I'm going to make it.
Then he's going to have 4 attacks. These are going to be 3s and 4s. It's going to be 3 at -3.
3 at -3. These are going to be 4-ups. And I'm going to make 2 of those.
It's going to be 4 damage.
4 damage. Got the 5-up ward. Going to make 3 of those. He'll take 1.
Crushing Jaws are going to be 3s and 3s. Nope. Here we go.
Okay. I like it. I was expecting a lot more output than that, but I'll take this. So first up, I'm going to go with the Plague Furnace.
I'm an all defense.
Sure, makes sense. So the Furnace has just about every buff imaginable, but we're going to do the Great Plague Sensor first, and this is on a 2-up. It's going to do mortal wounds, and I got it. So it is going to be at current profile D3 plus 4 mortal wounds for a total of 7 mortal wounds.
He'll be at 10.
Then I've got the Warpstone Tipped Staff, normally D3 attacks, but I'm at +1 right now, so a total of 4 attacks, and these are going to be on 3s and 3s. But +1 to wound from my other prayer, so 3s and 2s. That is going to be 2 at -1.
These will be 2 2-ups. Oof, missed 1. Damage.
1 damage. The Fetid Blades are going to be on 3s and 3s.
Don't forget the 6s.
6 to hit here does 1 mortal wound. Thank you for that. In addition, yep. And then 4s to wound here.
So why are you taking the 6s out?
That is going to be 2 at no rend.
This will be 2 2-ups.
Okay, and then the Rusty Spikes.
And he's at 12 total wounds there.
Okay, Rusty Spikes, 7 attacks, 3s and 2s. Looking for 6s. 1 mortal wound there. And then 2s to wound. That's 3 at -1.
So it'll be 3 2-ups. And this 1 damage?
Just 1, and then the 1 mortal wound.
We'll be at 14.
Next activation then will be with the Storm Vermin, and I'm only going to get, because they have 10 or more models in the unit, I'm going to get the bonus 1-inch reach, so I'm going to get 3 ranks in, but that's only going to be 5 of them. And the leader is not one of those, so it's going to be a total of 10 attacks here. So these are going to be 3s and 3s. So that is going to be 2 mortal wounds.
He's there.
Okay. And then I've got the option to pile with my clan rats, and I'm going to do so. And just push them a little bit. And at the end of this turn, I am going to score pretty well. I took down the turtle, which was all I could really manage. It took everything I have here, but I got it done. I do owe you a battle shock on the clan rats. They're wholly within 12 inches of the Plague Furnace, though, so they get to ignore the battle shock. And I do get to bring D3 back into the unit, so I'm going to get 3 clan rats back. And so I'm going to score, hold 1, hold 2, hold more, because I now hold that objective over there. And I'm going to get my battle tactic of Barge, and I'm even going to get a bonus point on that battle tactic. So this is going to be a total of a 6-point turn. Because I'm doing it with 2 or more units of Galatian veterans.
Oh, sure.
So a 6-point turn there puts me up to 15 to 8, but I don't think that's going to last very long. You've got your turn, bottom of 3.
I'm going to do gaining momentum, and I'll choose the clan rats.
Okay.
I am going to finest my king here.
For my heroic action, I'm going to attempt to get a command point with my furnace, and I do.
I am going to attempt to rally back some reavers. I'm going to roll 8 dice. This will be 6s. I'm going to get 3 back. I am going to try to cast Flaming Weapon from my general. He's going to get it on an 8.
I'll attempt to unbind that with the furnace. No bonus here, but I'll block it on an 11.
Into movement. So I'm just moving up. I'm trying to make some shorter charges. Really, my plan here is to take as many bodies off as I can of Nick. Leave him with just a couple of units to try to score the objective game the rest of the game. And if I get the double, I'm in pretty good shape. Even if I'm not, I feel pretty confident with the amount of bodies I have on the table right here. I'm then going to go into shooting. Reavers are going to put 18 shots into your Storm Vermin, and then the remainder, so this would be 60, remaining 32 into your furnace.
Okay. You're all out attacking here?
Yes.
Okay.
This is 32 2s and 3s into the furnace. Into the furnace.
Alright, 21 into the furnace. I'm going to have 4 up saves here. I'm at a 4 up, +1 from Mystic Shield, -1 from Red. And Jesus. Pretty good save roll. I am going to fail just 7 of those. And then we'll see what you do into the Storm Vermin before I decide how I want to allocate those. So 7 damage coming into the furnace so far.
So this is going to be 3, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 into the storm.
11 at -1. They are then going to be on a 5 up save. And I am going to pass just 2 of those. So I've got 9 damage coming into the Storm Vermin and 7 damage coming into the Plague Furnace. Now on the Plague Furnace, I am going to choose to allocate the wounds to the Plague Furnace first. And I'm going to try to pass those off into the Storm Vermin. So 7 of those passing off on 4s. Going to fail to pass off 2 of those. So the Furnace is going to take 2. Do 5 damage to the Vermin plus the failed saves. And that unit is going to be wiped.
Into charges, I'm going to charge with the Morsar that are next to the Reavers first.
This unit here?
Yep, they're going to get in on a 12.
Easy.
I'm then going to attempt to charge with my king. He's going to be in on a 10. On a 2 up, he'll do D3 to the clan rats. For 3.
Sure.
I'm then going to charge with my heals. Okay, +1. I'll get in on a 6. I am going to roll for my Voltaic into the Plague Furnace. This will be 3 dice, 4 ups, 6s do D3.
Okay.
Just D3 for 2.
Okay, 2 5-ups. And going to block one of those, take 1.
Then my Reavers will charge. 4. I don't have any monstrous actions. I'm going to attack with my general first.
Okay. And of course, it's round 3. You're Idoneth. Everything you have gets to fight first.
I will get +2 attacks because of the Unstoppable Fury. 5 attacks on his bladed polearm. This is going to be 2s and 2s. This is going to be 8 at -3. This will be a total of
4 at -3.
Or 4, sorry, 12 damage.
12 damage. Okay.
We'll then have his Felshon. This is going to be 2s and 2s as well, 3 attacks. 1 at no rend.
1 at no rend. That's going to be a 5-up. Mate.
And then
he gets +2 attacks on.
Oh yeah, sorry. Felshon, I owe 2 more. So it'll be 1 more at no rend.
5-up. Failed it.
There's 1 damage.
Okay.
And then I will do his Fangs and Talons. This will be 2s and 2s, but 5. So this will be 2 at -1.
2 at -1 are going to be 6-ups. And you're going to fail both of those.
D3 each for a total of 5.
Okay.
And then his Lashing Tail will have 5 attacks. This will be 3s and 2s. Okay. So that will be 4 at no rend.
4 5-ups. Gonna make 1 of those.
That will be 6 damage.
6 damage. Okay. Piling in the Morsar now.
Yep.
Okay. 1 eel into the Clan Rats, 2 into the Furnace.
Yep. And this will be, yeah, I'm gonna all out attack. These will be 2s and 3s.
Okay. You'll be no penalties against Clan Rats, -1 to hit and -1 to wound into the plate.
Sounds good. So this will be 2s and 3s going into the rats. 1 at -2.
Straight through.
2 damage.
Okay.
And then his Lashing Tail, 2s and 3s. Two at -1.
6-up. And gonna fail both of those.
2d3. So this will be
5.
And then we will put the other 2 attacks from my guys into your furnace. This will be 5 attacks on 2s and or 3s and 4s. This will be 2 at -2.
That's going to be a 5-up. I've still got that Mystic Shield up. Going to make 1.
2 damage.
2 damage, 2 5-ups. And going to fail 1, pass 1, so 1 more damage.
And then I'm going to have 6 attacks. These will be 3s and 4s. All but 1 at -1. 5 at -1.
5 at -1 are going to be 4-ups. And I'm going to pass 2 of those.
3d3. So it'll be 3, 6, 7.
7. 5-ups. Gonna make 3 of those and take 4 more.
How many will he get?
He has taken now a total of 9. So you've got a couple more activation. Do you want to pile them in?
No, I'm not going to pile.
Okay. Then my only activation is, well, I've got 2 activations actually. Potentially, but I'm only going to make 1 of them. It's going to be the Plague Furnace into the eels. I still have all my buffs, but I am tabled a little bit. So first up, we've got the Great Plague Sensor. on a 2-up is going to do mortal wounds, and it does, but it's now D3 plus 3, so 6 mortal wounds into the EOS. D3 attacks with the Warpstone tipped staff. 1 attack on 3s and 2s. That is 1 at -1.
5 up. Damage.
1 damage. 7 attacks with the Fetid Blades. 3s and 3s. And that is going to be 3 at no red.
3 swarps. Middle.
Okay, and then down to 5, but back up to 6 Rusty Spike attacks. These are going to be 3s and 2s. And that is going to be a total of 5 at -1.
This will be 5 ups. I didn't make any.
1 damage each. So in Battle Shock here, auto pass on the Clan Rats, so they will stick around, and I'm going to get D3 of them back for 2.
Well, I don't own any Battle Shock. I missed my battle tactic here, but I am going to control 1, control 2, control more for 4 points. And then we'll have a priority roll.
Yep. And I got a 3 to your 4. And I will just shake your hand at that point. You're going to take it. If I had gotten that, maybe there is some play in terms of starting to do some mortal wounds and bombing the furnace in and just scoring another big turn. But failing that, I'm not going to get anything anywhere. So you'll come in and clean me. But good game.
Yeah, way to stick with it. I mean, you made it as interesting as possible after
Sure.
what was a negative double turn early.
I think turn 1, I definitely should have positioned things differently, and that's on me really not understanding, how all these pieces fit together yet. But
what would you have done differently?
I would have set up so that even if I killed your screen of tree revs, I had a 6-inch charge with Slink and his boys into a different unit, so that I could get in and eat the Unleashed Hell with Slink's.
Yeah, that was the biggest problem, is that you had to come in to the Unleashed Hell, and there was really no option for you to stay out because you were committed. Otherwise, you're going to eat 60 full power shots into.
And then obviously, just I need to understand the terrain rules. On my opponent's got better, and make that pile in with the Verminlord and shut off that shipwreck. I don't think it really had much of an impact on the course of the game, but it would have been 8 more dead Reavers turn 1, which is obviously big.
I don't think I said 8. I think I say probably 5.
You say 7. 6, 7. I put through 15 and 8 died. Okay. So big difference there. I don't think that necessarily would have swung it, but having the Verminlord at effectively full health there would have taken pretty much all your shooting to clear it, and maybe if you're only on 15 Reavers, maybe you don't clear it, and then things are looking real good for me.
Yeah. I think that as far as my game, I'm very rusty with these. I felt okay about deployment. I didn't really know how I could stop Nick from coming in. Maybe if I bubbled out the tree reds a little bit more. But I was worried about making sure that you didn't have any, if you do a 6 off the corner of the board, maybe you are closer to shoot into the Reavers instead of, the Revs or something like that.
Yeah, you've got so few units that it's tough to screen out something like a 30 block. And you did a good job of it, but you can't screen it out in the way you might necessarily like.
Yeah. What really screwed you was not being able to eat the Unleashed Hell. If you can eat the Unleashed Hell early, it's a different game, but
certainly
getting rid of those tree reds and then having longer charges and not making those longer charges until you rolled the 10 with the Warp Maw made the game very difficult for you. But I thought this is a great example of why you just don't give up. If Nick gets the double here, he's got interesting things to do. He could do some great plagues. I was dead scared of Nick being able to do where he takes over a hero, and that would have been really good against my king.
Here it would have been nice to just bomb in some mortal wounds into things. I could have, taken over Lotan and forced you to kill Lotan, which would have been really cute with the Red Maw Plague. But I never really got to work on the plagues. The big prayer that I did get off was Curse on the turtle, which was
awesome.
Yeah.
What would you have done if you had gotten the top of 2? What was your plan?
Top of 2,
Just everything?
I had things relatively out of position, but I had all of my shooting and slink over here. So had I gotten top of 2, I would have just started working on Reavers.
Sure.
All my shooting into Reavers, and then Slink's claw pack into the Reavers, so he eats the unleash hell of whatever's left, and then Slink goes in. But the reality is that that's probably not going to go great for me. I'm probably not going to clean enough of the Reavers. And on this battle plan in particular, if I just weaken the Reavers, then they're going to rally back really well. There was potential, depending on how I would have had to look at the ranges, but there was potential to swing over here with running and shooting and throw some mortal wounds at your king. I can't remember exactly how closest unit would have looked after that run and shoot, so I can't remember exactly how that would have played. Had I gotten it, the sensor bearers were clinging your king.
Yeah.
And then, I just start to wear things down here. The turtle would have been a potential target with all of my mortal wound shooting, not necessarily to kill it, but maybe to start bracketing it. But the Reavers are just so hard to deal with, and I knew that was my biggest threat here on the table. I knew that if I could manage the Reavers, I would have play on the rest of it, and the melee stuff, you see how tanky the Plague Furnace is. When you've got to come in, I can start getting plagues rolling. I feel okay about the melee side, but I had no way to deal with the Reavers, and I knew that if they were working, it was just going to shred me, which is what played out. So I kind of went all in on trying to cripple them.
I was super impressed with the tankiness of the Plague Furnace. Now, on the other side of the offense, it's not anything special. It will do some.
It does have the one profile, the mortal wound profile is great. But the rest is very lackluster. Right?
Yeah. But I mean, when you have the pass off, you're talking about, and the 5-up ward, you're talking about a model that is not coming off the table.
Yeah. Well, the fact that it's not a monster, so it gets the lead from the back rule, it has the -1 to be wounded. Neither of those apply in shooting. It's too many wounds to benefit from Lookout Sir, so neither of those apply in shooting. So it can be shot off, but then it's still got the 5-up ward. In melee, it is very difficult to shift.
This is a list I don't want to see with my army. I obviously want to go against something that can't put so many threats out early. Like, you had like a shitload of threats. Now, granted, it didn't work out for you because you had longer than expected charges, and it was almost like, you had to kill that unit because it was
it's the only unit I can shoot. Right?
Yeah, but you realistically had an easy enough time getting. Slink could have easily been in. The gutter runners could have been in. They're shooting. If you have a little bit more success shooting the tree res, I think it's a really fun and surprisingly really good strong list. It's scary a little bit.
I don't think it's going to take any top tables, but one of the things that Pestilens really struggles with is the fact that they are moving so slowly up the table with a melee threat and with close range mortal wounds. So they've got to get there. And one of the things that I like about this build in particular, with some refinements, is the ability to pin in your opponent a little bit with those deep striking Eshin units. Hopefully take off some prime targets. Obviously with Idoneth you get what you get, but against mini lists you can go hero hunting with all the mortal wound shooting, and just forcing your opponent back into a corner that then lets you advance up the board and start getting the Pestilence things into range to do their thing. I like that element. Now, typically, I'm not going to play my Warp Gnaw as aggressively as I did here, but like I said, all in on the Reavers.
Yeah.
A little bit of a desperation play from turn 1.
I'm not super sold on the eels. They're super expensive. Yeah, they move a lot. But 2 rend is fine. They don't have a ton of attacks. They have a fair amount. They're fragile. It's 390 points. Is there a better place to spend 390 points in the army?
Well, I think it's relatively easy to say that just a couple more units of Reavers would be
I'm capped at 30. But right. The thing is, you do need to have something in front of the Reavers, right?
Absolutely.
And the Reavers can't move very well, so they're not going to be objective scores.
I think the eels are all right. I think they're solid. But I think that they're almost a throwback to a little bit of a past editions where they are a glass cannon unit and they've got the output of a glass cannon unit. But what we're seeing with some of the new books is that very durable units are putting together the kind of output that eels put out. And so they're lagging a little bit there. Now, Idoneth is a book that has always shored up its units with exceptional allegiance abilities, and they still do.
Yeah.
Fights first on all those eels. It's really good.
Yeah. Curse is such a scary prayer. It's just...
absolutely.
You want to avoid it at all costs, and then it's there.
But the only way to really get it off is with something very, very durable.
Yeah. Yeah, it was... If I'm you, you painted this... I don't know if you guys know on our Discord, Nick has been showing the progress on this army. It's beautiful for something that he painted quickly. I mean, he likes to say it's not great, but I mean, it's clearly way better than tabletop, and the bases are really cool. So, I mean, you don't paint many armies this quickly. I think this is a fun army. I think you should stay with it for a while. I'm
definitely going to play it some more. I'm eager to explore this, and I've got some other elements I'm going to mix in. One of the things that I want to drop into this list is some minor elements from Scryer. I want to run some... and now I'm blanking on the name. The Sniper Boys. The Warplock Jezzails. I want to get some Warplock Jezzails because, again, a slow army, it's going to take me a while to get into the opponent. Having some threat to push the issue and make them come in is, I think, going to be really good.
I'm a little bit tempted to maybe even add another unit of tree res. Just they're so good. I mean, they do their job and then they just are frustrating and they're all over the place, right? And then maybe replace a unit of the eels with a shark.
Sure.
I like the aspect of the shark that I like is just it's more shooting, a little tankier, more wounds. It's.
I really like the sharks. I think I played against Carl Stokes, I believe his last name. Fantastic player, amazing painter. Played against him in Missouri on Idoneth, and he was running a list that had 20 Reavers, had 3 sharks, and I believe he had them in a 2 and 1 configuration.
Sure. Did he take the shark sub-allegiance abilities?
No, he was in Nautilus with a turtle, and the turtle was fantastic as well. But he was able to, against my KO list, and granted this is KO in 3rd edition, the early parts of 3rd edition.
Against Idoneth? Sounds fun for you.
It was a rough one, but he was able to effectively outshoot me with his Idoneth list with all the punch behind it. And I was really impressed with that build and how that played, and he was a fantastic pilot of it as well, which never hurts. But definitely opened my eyes to the potential of the sharks. Like I said, KO got the worst end of a shooting matchup there.
If I played this game again, I might pull my Reavers from the front because I want to be on that objective, and if I can get out of being in attacks, my turn 1 could go potentially much better.
Sure.
As far as then I'm not having to allocate all my shooting from the Reavers into the Warpmaw. There's things I can definitely work on getting better. This is, like I said, my 2nd time playing this book. I'm clearly very rusty with this army, and honestly, it's amazing what you learn the more you play an army. Now, Nick, you don't play an army more than once, but like people that do, no, I felt my level of understanding Beasts of Chaos from when I first played it to when I last played it. Now, it was a really strong army. I could still win games when I first played it, but I felt like in control at the end. You know what I mean? Whereas, like, right now, I feel like I'm doing a lot of guessing. I don't have, like, awesome plans. Like, I have good units that do good things, but I'm not necessarily using them as well as they could be.
Sure.
So I think that's something I'm really going to look forward to improving on.
That's definitely a place that I got to toward the end of my Nighthaunt experience, toward the end of my Stormcast experience.
Sure.
And I feel like I'm so eager to continue exploring different avenues in Skaven, and I haven't yet settled down on one that I haven't yet hit that stride with Skaven. And certainly not with this list yet.
Are you
the first time running it?
Giving any consideration to the heavy gutter runner list that's more an Eshin And
we got to see Isaiah play that at Dragonfall, and I think that's a fantastic list. I think it's among the strongest ways you can build Skaven right now. But it's not what calls to me in terms of playstyle. I like the harassing elements of Eshin, but I don't necessarily want to go all in on an alpha strike. Or if I'm going to do an alpha strike, I don't think Skaven is what I want to do it with.
Yeah, Nick's not going to mention it, but all he can talk about right now is playing 21 Flamers with with a Gaunt Summoner on disc and getting in 1-drop. And if he goes against another 1-drop that has any shooting,
then we have
loses
a priority roll to decide.
And he loses. But otherwise, he really wants the 10-minute game. So if he says he's not all in on alpha, he's a bit of a...
I didn't say that I wasn't all in on alpha. I said if I'm going to do alpha, it's not going to be Skaven.
All right, everybody. Thanks a lot for staying with us. If you're with us all the way at the end of this point, you're a true fan and a true supporter, and we appreciate it. Always like and subscribe. Join us in our Discord. We're constantly talking about this game at all hours of the night. We have people in Sweden that can paint like crazy and...
Shout out to Jim.
Yeah, and it's just, it's a really wonderful community. Generally, everybody is happy to talk about the game and talk about what we love doing. So join us, and again, tune in for our next video.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.